Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, and Dash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, and peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Excuse me. This is your brother Dawadah from the Men of Valor campaign, Greenville, South Carolina. Coming back with another video in sincerity and in truth and Lord willing, it can be edifying. All right, this will be the afternoon report. And right here from zeroheads.com, Americans are more dependent than ever on government handouts, new report states. And this is exactly where they wanted you, all right, with the introduction of universal basic income. You had the unemployment with the LDs. They was giving out the stimulus checks. They was using gradualism, like we said in videos years ago, back when this was going on, that this was gradualism to push people to be more reliant on the government. All right. But see, we're coming into the times where we're not going to be reliant on Esau and the government. The Lord is going to provide ways for us to continue to maintain, if, even if society is going on, if the MOTB hasn't been fully pushed yet. All right. Because inflation is getting out of hand. The dollar is weakening. All right. These jobs aren't paying enough. Barely anybody can pay their bills. And they're doing this very much on purpose. They want you to be relying on the government. Now, even down here with the Hurricane Helene, all right, FEMA was coming through giving out $750 checks. All right, you got to have somebody come in your home and all this shit. And if you receive that, whatever. But it's clear as day that, this is how they're trying to set everything up. They're trying to diminish the middle class, and they're trying to have it to where everybody's relying on them. They're going to have AI take over. These robots take everybody's jobs. And switch the autonomy over that way, right? And have you sitting at home, in the metaverse, all right, like on some Ready Player One shit. That's what their plan is. That's what they want to do. So it's not a coincidence that the majority of Americans right now are dependent on government handouts. It says, payments from the government have become the fastest growing source of income for Americans, according to a new study. A report by the Economic Innovation Group, or EIG, a public policy research organization titled The Great Transformation, states that Americans have become more substantially Slakia. Let me read that again. It says, states that Americans have become substantially more dependent on government support, with the share of national income coming from transfer payments more than doubling over the past 50 years. Transfer payment, and another thing is Social Security. That's another relying on government, as we're going to read. Transfer payment programs include Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, unemployment, disability, food stamps, and veteran benefits. Transfer payments increased from 8% of U.S. total income to in 1970 to 18% today. The report states, crowding out private income from wages and investments. There's a large range of experiences driving transfer reliance across communities. Benjamin Glassner, EIG economist, and one of the report's authors told the Epoch Times. But it's unavoidable to look at the fact that transfer reliance has grown rapidly across the country, and it's something we need to deal with. According to Federal Reserve data, government transfer payments increased from about $70 billion in 1970 to more than $6 trillion in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's what I said, right? Before falling back to the current level of around 4.3 trillion. According to the EIG report, if government transfer payments were spread evenly among all Americans, they would have amounted to an annual payment of $11,000 or $11,500 per person in 2022. One factor driving much of the shift from private income to government dependence is the U.S. population. Is that the U.S. population is, on average, getting older. You got them old ass boomers, and that's why it ain't gonna. This place isn't set up to continue. It's breaking down. According to the demographic data from USA Facts, the percentage of Americans 65 years and older increased from 13.1% of the population in 2010 to 17.3% in 2022. During the same period, the percentage of Americans under the age of 20 fell from 26.5% 9% to 24.4%. The primary driver, the primary driver that we found in our report is demographic related, specifically the fact that the country has aged so rapidly. Glasner said, and the transfer programs that target the aging population also have grown significantly more expensive over time, right? So Social Security, which is paid by way of money coming out of the working class taxes, and if, there's less younger people and there's more older people, there you have a discrepancy, right? And if this place was to continue on, there definitely wouldn't be any Social Security for us. So, that's a failure right there. They don't have a thing in place, which we know it ain't even gonna get there. We're not growing old here. It says, of all government assistance payments in 2022, 56% went to the elderly, most for Medicare, the EIG report stated. Healthcare costs were a major factor, both because Americans qualified for Medicare and Medicaid, and because the cost of medical treatment rose significantly. According to data compiled by Peterson KKF, a healthcare policy and analytics organization, total health spending in the United States were $74.1 billion in 1970. By 2022, total health spending was about $4.5 trillion, indicating an exponential increase in medical costs per capita. Public finances under strain. All right, and stay with me. This is a longer, article. This is more dealing with geopolitics and economics and whatnot. And this ain't for, if you wanted to go see Sexy Red shake her ass, and you might want to just click off this video. All right, but this is information, and it's good to have this information. Not just from the standpoint of, like, we see how they're introducing, UBI. We see how they're moving, and we also see, just from an economic standpoint, the fact that this way of living isn't going to be sustainable when America's already pretty much trillions of dollars in debt. Not pretty much, but they are trillions of dollars in debt. So if you have so many people relying on this government, all right, guess what? When they can fully control you, man. Which is why that MOTB is gonna work out in their favor to an extent. People are going to be more reluctant to take it, because now you have more people than ever that need their medication, that need Social Security, that need income because they don't have jobs or they're getting older. So they're more inclined to take the C-HIP. But also, they got, Agenda 2025. They had the Georgia Guidestones. They want to cut a lot of that older population out anyway. So, hey, it's not looking good. We see the American dream quickly turn into an American nightmare. But continuing on, it says public finances under strain. The growth in transfer payments have taken their toll on state and federal budgets. The 2024 Pension Solvency and Performance Report, authored by Ryan Frost and Mariana Trujillo for Reason Foundation Pensions Integrity Project, stated the public pensions are increasingly falling behind on their ability to pay. So, the pensions, all these things was basically what made America great. You could go and you could make a life here. You could work for a job, you get a pension, for retirement. But now these things are falling. All right, your pensions aren't even promised, man. And if these stocks and bonds go kaput, all right, you lose your money. You ain't got no future, man. Hey, that's why the scripture say, "Riches profit not in the day of wrath," because the Lord is systematically bringing this place down. It says, as of 2023, the author states, total unfunded public pensions liabilities across the United States hit $1.59 trillion, and the median funded ratio was 76%. The U.S. federal deficit is currently at $1.8 trillion. An interest payment on U.S. government debt increased from $31 billion in 1970 to more than $1 trillion today. In addition, some analysts say that the growing dependence on government comes as the cost of personal autonomy and responsibility. The surge in transfer payments during the past 50 years is just one manifestation of the trend to politicize and tangle up all aspects of Americans' lives with the government. See, Steve Hank, professor of applied economics at Johns Hopkins University and a member of the board of directors of the Federal Fiscal Sustainability Foundation, told the Epoch Times. In result, because of politicians' inevitable attraction to buy votes by promising free lunches, and the fact that politicians don't face statutory or constitutional spending constraints. To illustrate the extent of the shift to government dependence, EIG created maps showing the percentage of income that came from transfer payments broken down by county over time. As you can see, in 1970, only about 1% of all U.S. counties reported that government transfers made up more than 25% of total income in their country or county. By 2022, more than half of U.S. counties reported dependence at that level. All right, that's 25%. Transfer payments as percent of total income by county in 1970, 15% or more in green, 25% or more in yellow, and Source Economics Innovation Group. So look at that. So this was back in 1970, and this is now. They said as of like 2022, right? They said the green. How did they map it up out again? 15%, right? In green, and 25% or more in yellow. Okay, look at all these counties that 25% of the population or more is relying on the government, man. Whether it's, once again, Social Security, Medicaid, you can probably throw food stamps in there, you could throw these pensions, everybody's relying on the government. And this government, once this government fails, once it collapses, hey, look at all that yellow and green, man. Everybody's going to be affected by this. This is why this matters, man. But this is why we don't put our trust in the government. We trust in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Government transfer payments as a percent of total income by county in 2025 or 2022, 15% or more in green, 25% or more in yellow. Sources Economic Innovation Group. Aging, shrinking populations, right? Going back to these motherfuckers being, getting older, all right, and dying off. All right, you got the baby boomers, which is a very large population, man. It's a lot of them. It's really, they saying according to them, it's more of them than it is of Gen Z and whatnot. All right, as far as the younger population. It says, while the reasons for this dependence vary from region to region, aging populations and outward migration were common themes, particularly in rural counties. Often young people leave small towns for better jobs in cities, and this both increases the percentage of retired people and decreases the number of people earning private wages in rural areas. In addition, as societies industrialize, people migrate from farms to cities, and women enter the labor force in larger numbers, and fertility rates fall. See, so you got these women working. All right, you got everybody moving to the cities. Esau's pushing this way of life, so people aren't having children as much. You see? While this trend has been observed over the past several decades throughout the world, the United States has been experiencing this trend for 2 centuries. In 1925, the average woman in America gave birth to more than six children, according to Statista, a data collection firm. As the United States industrialized and urbanized, the birth rate declined, hitting a low of 2 children per woman in 1940 before rebounding to 3.58 children in 1960. During the baby boom generation, like I said, the baby boomers, right? The minimum fertility rate to sustain a population is 2.1 children per woman. And see, that's another thing that they introduced. They talking about, because this is obviously talking about monogamy, right? But you can have a booming population with having a man having more than one woman. You literally see, the Lord set things up to be fair, man. Not fair, but to set it up to be how He wanted it, to be. What was His commandment to us? Be fruitful and multiply. All right, if you try to do it one man and one woman, that woman can, unless she's having twins or triplets, can only have a child once every 9 months. Okay, which so from the numbers standpoint, having more than one woman and impregnating those women will give you more children, which will increase the population, man. We're showing you Esau is contrary to the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because it makes sense. All right, the ways of the Lord are playing into the holy, man. So it says the United States dipped below this rate in 1972 and remained below replacement levels ever since, according to data from Macro Trends. While U.S. fertility rates increased marginally through 2008, they have since been falling back to the current rate of about 1.8 children per woman. And let's get down. Let's get this point. Economic security versus prosperity. The increasing dependence on the government for income raises the issue of how the United States can balance economic security for its dependence against overall economic growth and prosperity. The increased politicalization of life will put a damper on economic prosperity, Hank said. For every dollar taken out of the one taxpayer's pockets and put into another, there is a cost and an excess burden. The burden is the result of distortions thrown into the economy by imposing a tax, and the administrative cost of levying the tax of running the government's transfer payment system, he said. Arthur Laffer, a noted economist who specializes in tax policy, wrote in his 2023 book, Taxes Have Consequences, that raising taxes much beyond current levels will choke off economic growth, thus reducing the tax base. The more you redistribute, the greater will be the drop in total income, Laffer said in 2023 interview with Epoch Times. And this is important, man. You know, the economics and whatnot. And this is literally showing you that this system that they have in place is not going to continue on for long. They're going to have to introduce something new, which we know, according to the scriptures, is the MOTB, the CHIP. They're going to have to wipe this debt clean. All right, but we see a crash coming, man. We see that economic downturn happening because, once again, going back to the title of the lesson, you know, more Americans are relying on the government than ever, man. You know, so it says, consequently, governments are increasingly caught between a rock and a hard place regarding how to pay for social programs. Interest payments on America's federal debt are currently the third largest budget item after Social Security and non-defense discretionary spending, and exceeding Medicare and military spending. On an August 2024 report by the Peter G. Peterson Foundation states, based on Congressional Budget Office projections published in June. Treasury data in fiscal year 2024, running October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, show the interest expense was $896 billion. According to projections from the Congressional Budget Office, interest payments on the federal debt will double as a percentage of GDP by 2025 or 2054, which we won't be here, and will become the largest single item in the federal budget by 2051. So these models just show that this system was not created to, you know, pretty much prosper. They're about to do away with the middle class, and there's this last thing, but the point I wanted to make was just to show this map, how many people by county, pretty much all these counties that are reliant, you have 15 or 25% of the whole population that's reliant on the government, whether it's for, once again, we got welfare, you got Social Security, you got Medicaid, stuff like that. All right, and this is very important. All right. Once again, more Americans are more dependent on the government than ever on government handouts. All right. And that's going to be that introduction of that universal basic income, which once again is going to lead to that them warming them up for the MOTB, which we have been straightway commanded not to take. Right. But you got Jake, which is in Jake definitely in a fucked up position. If they was to break that up by demographic, you got most of Jake probably getting government handouts, man. Which the scriptures speak about going down to Egypt for help, man. Once again, if you can get these things, whatever, but your whole life being surrounded by Esau feeding you, all right, you're going to take the damn sea hook, man. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. See, we're not ignorant of what Esau is doing, Once again, the Lord said what? In Amos, the 3rd chapter, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. The Lord is controlling the left and the right of this entire movie. Okay? Controlling the left and the right. Salaki. Therefore, the Lord is revealing unto us. He puts a spirit on some of us to go into this. The Lord has given me the spirit to go into, the economic outlooks and go into geopolitics and stuff like that. This is something I studied before I came into the truth, and I was already pessimistic about the stock market, pessimistic about the way that the country was ran. You cannot, a country cannot thrive off of debt, man. You know, and now you have most of these Americans not having any real net worth, not really owning anything, but also relying on the government. It's a recipe for disaster, right? And I just want to get this last verse, right? Because I just want to bring out a couple scriptures, but the point is definitely here. This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, right? Because, hey, this government, hey, they had us in chains, man, and they were okay with it. The reason America became great was off the back of the Israelites, So, hey, it's coming soon where, and it was a curse that we had to go to our enemy for the one of all things. But now the Lord is about to shake us loose from that yoke, man. All right, the Lord is going to provide, man. We have to have that faith. All right, hey, everybody bills is going over their head, money and shit like that, man. But we trust in Yahweh Shem Shah to provide that way for us. All right, it's nothing for the Lord to bless the increase, man. Verse 20, you just got to believe. Without faith, it is impossible to please him. Isaiah 10 and 20, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. So we're going to trust in Yahweh Shem Shah and not lean on our own understanding. Because we're in a time of catching W's as this world begins to mourn and lament, as the city of confusion is being broken down. That crying for wine in the streets, the Lord has said what? It says, when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. And we're not going to get that by way of the government. We're going to get it by Yahweh Shem Shah blessing us, man, so that his name can be exalted. Somebody's going to, the Lord name can't be exalted if we're out here just in a fucked up position like you people. All right, but we trusted in you. We trusted in Yahweh Shem Shah when you people try to persecute us for it. And for that, the Lord is going to make sure we eat. We're going to drink. He's going to make sure we're good. Even before the collapse, man. All right, the Lord, hey, is taking care of brothers right now, man. And it's beautiful. But as for you people, you through, man. Isaiah 30 and 31, woe to the rebellious house, right? The 2/3 of our people that want to trust in this, trust in vote and trust in this government, think that shit can be on the right track. No, the Lord is about to dead this whole shit, man. All right, now it's time to repent and return to Yahweh Shem Shah, return to our power, man. So I just want to bring out this article, Lord willing, is edifying. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.